and welcome back to New York Gold. I had a couple of questions on how I feed my fry and what I feed my fry, so I'm going to try to go over that as quick as I can. I think the question was directed at goldfish fry, but it's basically the same thing. I'm going to be feeding the angels and cories today, but it's the same method and it works for both of them. So check it out. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this upside down. Hopefully it's right side up for you. I don't know. I never did this before, but I just have a large glass, and this is only to hold my stuff in place so I can deal with it. This is a 1 liter bottle. This is Polar is the brand, because the taper is really mimics a breeding cone, and this is you get to drink some seltzer or tonic and get this. So let me just fill this up with, I'm going to fill this with warm tap water. Hang on one sec. Okay, we have water. I would turn it sideways, but that won't work. This is, I don't know, room temp. Call it tank temp. We'll call it 78 degrees. Then I take salt. This is not regular table salt. This is kosher salt. You can use aquarium salt. This is cheap. This is, I don't know if this box is $1.50 or something like that. It's a huge box of salt, and it's not iodized or anything like that, and that's basically what you're trying to do. So I keep it in a little Chinese food container, and I take, this is a 1 liter plastic container, you know, the soda bottle container, and I take 2 heaping spoonfuls. That's it. 2 heapers. And then baking soda, regular baking soda. I'm going to show you a baking soda. I'm sure you know what baking soda is. Do I have one already here? No. Anyway, this is really just a pinch. It's hard to measure on here. Just a little bit. Maybe a quarter of a spoon. I don't even, something like that. And then, beep, 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 beep. There's not much water here. A little pinch can really raise the pH, and that's what you're trying to do. Raise the pH of this. Get it in the high 7s, 8, something like that. It seems to work. Honestly, they'll hatch without it, but it seems to help. Now, you can stir this, you can mix things up, whatever, but I have a place where I do my stirring and stuff like that. I'll show you my next step. So, pretty straightforward here. I have beer glasses. Oh, I caught one. Yeah, little sucker. I have beer glasses in my guppy tank here. This is heated, so this is high 70s, 80-ish, yada yada yada. And I have a rigid, this is a stick airline. See it bubbling away down there? I take my, actually, to do this right, these guys will die if they get trapped in there, so since I'm going to leave it, you got to empty the guppies out and just give it a little squeeze, and gets the air out of the pills in the glass. Bloop, 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 bloop. And then you use the airline to stir it up. You see down in there? So it doesn't take that long. And then you use the clothespin to clip it and keep it. You want the, try to move it closer. You want that rigid airline all the way down. You want it because things will settle in the bottom, and you don't want that. Your hatch isn't going to really work out the way you want it. You want everything to keep moving around and moving around. So that's the best. So here we go. We got a steady flow of bubbles, and we have a good mix. So we have our baking soda and our salt, and now we got a nice salty brine going on in that. Step 3 really is brine shrimp. And I know people, you can buy these in the pet shop, and they come in little vials and stuff like that. But if you feed a lot like I do, this is about, call this about 40 or 50 bucks for a can of this, and it in the long run it saves a lot of money. So it comes with a little scoop about this big, and what I do is I take 2 level scoops and I put it in there. 1, 2. If you want to go a little more, that's up to you. But I do 2 scoops. And that is just about it. I do label it so this way I can remember which one is which. You really don't have to. You can kind of tell by the color. Once they start turning orange like that one, you're ready to feed. So what I do is I just take a little piece of masking tape and I write on it the day and what time I made it. So let me make a little piece of tape and I'll stick it on there. Hang on. Okay, I made my tape Tuesday, 4 p.m. and let me see that. I will stick it right here with the other one. It's just easier to get it off the wood than the glass because every day after I change this, I'll do that one. So, all right. So now that this is cooking, sometimes you got to knock some of those eggs down in there. I'll show you how to feed the ones that are ready. So hang on. Okay. So we have our glass. This is a dollar store glass, and this is a cheap Home Depot lamp. And then I take the brine and they put them in here. And I know when you watch other videos, they keep the light constantly on it. You know, brine shrimp in the wild don't have light at night. They don't really need it. What they do is when they are hatched, they are attracted to it. So in this case, they're gonna all go to the bottom and they'll be attracted to the light. And we got to give it a little time, and they'll end up, you'll see it'll be dark orange all at the bottom. So let's shut this down and we'll come back in about 10-15 minutes and we'll see. This is really the longest part of the whole process. This doesn't have to be a whole long drawn out thing. This is easy and it's really quick. You can start a brine shrimp hatchery here and load it up in minutes. It really doesn't take long. All right, it's been about, I don't know, 5, not even 10 minutes yet. It was pretty quick. But all of that stuff on the bottom is live baby brine shrimp. They're about 24 hours old. I started this yesterday at 5 o'clock. Right now it's 4:30, 5 p.m. So call it 24 hours. And it really is temperature based. The warmer it is, the faster your hatch rate. So, and you want to get them in the beginning when they first hatch, because they're born with yolk sacs, and that's when they're at their highest protein content. And then really going to give you the best punch. Pack for the punch of the pack. So at this point, I take a turkey baster, I suck up what I need, and then I put it into this. I'm gonna have to show you what that is. Everybody has a different method at this point, and this is mine. So let me show you that. All right, here we go upside down again. And this is a tea strainer. You get these at like the Asian dollar stores. This is very fine. This is the same as like a coffee filter. It's metal. It's like the same. So you can use coffee filters. I've seen people use that. You can use brine shrimp nets. I have one of those here. This is a brine shrimp net, very fine hole, so the brine shrimp can't fall through. There's a million options. This one works for me. And this, the only thing is you have to wet it just a little bit. So I just dunk it in the tank. And just to keep the surface tension, because it'll all float. You want the water to go through. So I take a turkey baster. This is the only thing that I recommend, besides the brine shrimp. They're a little expensive. Everything else is pretty cheap or free. This is, it's a decent turkey baster. It doesn't really trip. I don't know who makes this. It's not KitchenAid. I don't remember offhand. But I tried the dollar store ones and they just don't last. I've had this for probably 3 years already, and it works great. And I had to put marker pen in the tip right there. See? So this way I can see it better when it's under the water. I can see where I am. So anyway, so I take a bunch of brine shrimp. That's a bunch, I guess. And I just squeeze it onto here. And now you see it's floating around in the water a little bit, and I just rub it with my finger. All that salt water falls back into the drink, but it does separate it, and I wish that was a good camera. Then you can see. Can you see what the light is? That's all movement. There's a million little hoochie mamas swimming around in there. So let me show you how I feed these guys. Hang on a second. All right, so you got your brine, and you just kind of dip it into the tank and let it float down, and that's it. Whatever you have left, you can give it to other fish, whatever, or you can fit in there, but that's pretty much it. A lot of it makes its way. It'll make its way down to the quarries, and they'll suck it all up. But yeah, that's their protein punch. And these guys are, let's call them like a month old. Yeah, they were hatched on April 18th, and today is May 26th. So yeah, call them. By the time they are free swimming and stuff like that, it takes like a week. So I've been in the last week and a half. I've been giving them flakes. So I'll show you. I can show you how I feed them flakes real fast. That's I guess simple enough. Hang on. Before I get to the flakes, though, let's do this. Let's reset. Here's my. There's still a bunch in there because I want to feed again tonight before I go to bed, and then I'll load it up again for tomorrow and whatever. So I'm gonna do this one-handed. That's how easy it is. So I'm gonna stick this. Come on, get out of there. Anyway, I'm gonna stick this in here. I'm gonna take my airline, put it in there. A lot of that brown stuff is really like the eggshells and stuff coming up, and then you gotta separate that from the brine. And that's it. You put your clip on. I knew you were gonna be a problem. And that's that. All set. So now I can come back. So what is it? 5 o'clock now, just say 4:30. I'll come back tonight before I go to bed, give him a feeding, and then refill, and then that'll be ready for tomorrow. And this guy, when I get home from work tomorrow, he'll be ready. And that's that. So let me show you how I feed the flakes to the little angels. All right, what we have here is regular flake food. Disregard the brand name because I put other flakes and stuff in there. So these are just your basic flakes. Let me spin you down, and we'll do this trick again. Whoa, almost dropped everybody. So the only trick to this is you need dry hands. So you just take flakes, you put them in your hand, and you pinch them up as hard as you can. You don't need the mortar and pestle for this because these they're a lot bigger than that, like those little fry that are smaller than eyelashes that won't even take brine shrimp. So you get these in a nice powder, just like that. See that? And then bring it over here. There you go. Ugh, this ain't easy. And that's it. You just give them the business, and then hopefully a bunch of that sinks, and then the quarries get out of it, and it does still. So you can feed. They're starting to get both some protein, some carbs. Hopefully, it'll help their growth. All right, so that's it. I hope it helps anybody, one person, who cares? Anybody, everybody. But don't be afraid of the brine shrimp. I know people like to skip that step and they're going with first bites and all stuff like that. That stuff is fine, don't get me wrong, but there's a reason why all breeders that you read about use this stuff. It really is like magic. This stuff is super high protein and the baby's just going nuts for it. So it really is easy. Set it and forget it. It's not a lengthy process. So have fun. I hope you try it and I hope it helps. Take care.